We'll go now.
Mr. Cram, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you to all the witnesses for joining us today. I'll start with Professor Damodaran. Professor, in your opening statement, you talked about how our dependence on fossil fuels increased more from 1975 to 1995 than at any other time because of the adoption of nuclear energy. And you also spoke about the, I believe you used the term, the hypocrisy of environmental activists and their bias against nuclear energy. Can you explain why this bias may be there in the first place and what some of the benefits of adopting nuclear energy may be?
You're on mute, Professor.
Our dependence decreased because of nuclear energy. I think part of it is, again, this black and white of, you don't accept shades of gray. You are going to put things on one side of the line or the other. And for whatever reason, perhaps because of safety mostly, nuclear energy ended up on the wrong side of the line. And once you get on the wrong side of the line, there is no way back in this space.
de vous interrompre.
Excusez-moi, oui.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Chair. But in terms of nuclear energy, we're talking about sustainable finance. We already had 4 meetings. We have a report on nuclear energy. I don't know why we're coming back to nuclear energy today. They were talking about finance. Yes, but the subject is quite broad, I think. Broad enough so that we can include discussion on nuclear. We will continue. There are 2 minutes left.
Okay.
As I said, in a world of black and white, once you're on the wrong side of the line, there's no way back. And that, I think, is part of my problem, is purists end up putting one type of energy or the other on one side of the line, and we cut off any chance of compromise.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Professor, do companies that adopt ESG policies see higher rates of return compared to companies that do not?
No. In fact, the higher rates of return that high ESG companies have derived has come mostly from big tech companies early in the process being classified as good companies on the ESG space. It's got nothing to do with ESG. It's accidental alpha, as I call it.
And would it be the case that if companies that did adopt ESG policies did see higher rates of return, then all these companies would do it and there would be no need for this committee meeting today? Is that a fair assessment, Professor?
That's exactly right. If ESG and sustainability was so good for your bottom line, why the heck would you need it in the first place? They'd do it anyway.
And also, Professor, in your opening statement, you used the example of being asked to pay $40 to reduce your carbon footprint on a commercial airline ticket. What advice would you have for people the next time they're asked to pay that $40 to reduce their carbon footprint the next time they buy a commercial airline ticket?
You have 30 seconds, Professor.
You'd be out of your mind to pay it. I would not.
And can you elaborate on why that is, Professor?
Because that money might go into planting a tree in Oregon or it might go into somebody's pocket. I think that this is part of the gravy train that I talked about, all that money being collected with very little to show for it.
Merci.